Guys, so today we're actually going to be doing solving equations. It's going to be a coloring worksheet, so you don't have to color it if you're watching this video. All you got to do is just answer most of the questions, and basically you're just going to be solving for the variable. If you look at problem number 1, we're going to get going right away. I'm going to have -6 is equal to b over 18. Alright, because I have to solve for b. So this is a couple of things that we covered a while ago, but you might have forgotten. We gotta leave b alone. Okay, so in this case, what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to multiply by 18. And what I'm doing that for is because 18 and 18 are gonna cancel right there, as you see. Those two right here are gonna cancel out. I'm gonna shade it out a little more just so you can see. Those two are gonna cancel out. Also, what I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So I'm going to do times, let me erase the number 1, times 18. Right? So we did times 18 times 18. So that cancels out. So we have 18 times -6 is equal to b. So at this point, all you have to do is just multiply them together. And you're going to get 108b, which equals b is equal to 108. So that's literally all you got to do for this assignment. It's not very hard. All you got to do is just solve for the variable they give you. That was the first one. We're going to work together. We're going to work on 2 more. And then you're going to have to do the other, how many, 9? You're going to have to do the other 9. So that was number 1. Now we're going to do number 4, because it's a fraction. A lot of people tend to have difficulty doing the fractions. So I'm going to write -1 is equal to 5 plus x over 6. Again, I want to solve for x, but there's something in the way. Right here, again, same step that we did before, we're going to multiply by 6, because I want to leave the x alone. I multiply with both sides by 6. Over here, those two are going to cancel out. So I have 6 times -1 is equal to 5 plus x. You see how much nicer it looks at this point? Make sure you always get rid of your fractions first. Well, not always first. Make sure you get rid of the fractions whenever you can. In this case, we were able to get rid of a fraction right away, so I got rid of it. At this point, I'm going to multiply 6 by -1, which is going to give me -6 is equal to 5 plus x. I want to leave x alone, so this 5 is getting in the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to subtract by 5 on both sides. And now I have -11 is equal to x. And I'm going to rewrite it, so x is equal to -11. You see, this problem should be very easy as long as you understand like what you're supposed to do. So the main thing about this whole entire problem is that you need to know the opposite of things. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So if I want to move, let's say, I have -1 plus x, right? Equals 2. If you can see here, I want to get rid of the 1. I want to get rid of the 1 so I can leave for x, right? Because I'm trying to solve for x. What's the opposite of -1, right? What is the opposite of -1? Well, the opposite of -1 is going to be +1, right? I'm doing +1. Interesting, right? Once I do +1, that's going to give me 0, and it's going to cancel all that out, right? But what I do to one side, I have to go ahead and do to the other. So now I'm going to have x is equal to 3. Wow, that was super easy, right? Yes, so as long as you understand what opposites mean, right? I'm going to put a couple here. 3, right? What is the opposite of -1? +1. We just did that one. What is the opposite of 5? -5 plus 5. What is the opposite of 3? -3. You're going to have to understand this concept so you can do all of this. But that's not only it, because you have multiplication and division too, no? So let's say I have 2 times something, right? I have 4 divided by something, and I have -3 times something, right? We have all of that. So we're going to have to figure out what is the opposite of times 2. So the opposite of times 2 is going to be 2, and you're going to divide the 2 by something, right? What is the opposite of 4 divided by something? It's going to be 4. You're going to multiply it by something, right? That's the opposite of it. What is the opposite of negative 3 multiplied by the opposite, right? So it's going to be negative 3 divided. You notice how my negative did not change right here? So whenever you're multiplying or dividing, and you do the opposite, you're going to keep the sign. The only things that you change is whenever you do an addition and multiplication. Oh no, addition and subtraction. That's whenever you actually do have to change it. So right now I'm going to go ahead and do one of the longer problems right now. I'm actually going to do 11 for you guys. So number 11 right here, it says that we're going to have negative 3x, or negative 3, times 4r minus 8 parentheses is equal to negative 36. That's our problem that we got. So first thing, I'm going to distribute, I'm going to multiply this by this, and then this by this. So negative 3 times 4 is going to be 12, but because it's negative, it's going to be negative 12r. Now, negative 3 times negative 8, I'm going to write it real quick out here. Okay, that's the first one we did, right? Now we're going to do negative 3 times negative 8, which is going to give me positive what? What is it? 20, right? I believe it's something 20. Oh my, I can't even do my multiplication neither. Shame on me. It's going to be 24, right? 3 times 8 is going to be 24. But it's positive because we have two negatives, right? Also, ooh, that changed quite a bit there. Now equals to 36. Right here, you can see I have negative 12r and 24r. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move the one that just has a number on it. So I'm going to do minus 24 because it's the opposite, right? We're doing the opposite. We have 24 over here. Then we have negative 24 because those two are opposite of each other. So those two are going to cancel out. But what I do to one side, I have to do, go ahead and do to the other. So over here, I'm going to have negative 36 minus 24. And this might be very confusing for you guys, but I'm going to rewrite it just so you can see what I'm doing. It's negative 36 minus 24. If you have a calculator with you, make sure you write it down that way, because it's going to help you out see what I'm trying to do here. This and this, they're going to become more negative, okay? So because it's going to become more negative, I'm actually going to get a negative 60 here. It's equal to negative 12r. Remember before when we were talking about multiplications, like all this stuff right here? We're going to have to do exactly that, right? We're going to leave I want to leave my r alone right here. I want to leave that alone, which is why I'm going to divide by a negative 12. But like I always say, well, what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So I'm going to divide by 12, negative 12. On that side, I have over here, I have two negatives, so it makes it a positive. So I have r is equal to 5. And that's my answer for that one, real easy. That's basically everything. So make sure this helps you out. And that's how you're going to have to do today's assignment. Thank you for watching.